How's ik stap to the help? Okay. Time you me run here. Anyone got any questions, Lodisla? But I'll set up
Yes,
the WhatsApp group. Okay.
one here. One question is when we look at the instruction of the major assessment tasks, and then we can formulate our own outline and start working on that assignment, or we'll
Yeah.
follow the step that you have just displayed on the displayed on.
This is just helping you blah. You can do whatever you want, but at least you can see the introduction is always important. And whatever between the introduction and the conclusion, you can do whatever. But those, if I was reading at USA, I look at your introduction and conclusion. Are they telling me the same thing or two different things? But these are just all same, all mapped all posts helping you.
Thank you.
Okay, let's give you some guidelines.
Thanks.
Okay.
Did you upload that structure up on the cluster already or not yet?
Not yet. But I'll put it on cluster. I'll put it on cluster. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Sit down. So everybody challenging me to look good. And main thing is acknowledging that worldview, the deep level, the deep rooted worldview that seeps out, everything seeps out from him. The worldview affects our decisions. So you acknowledge the worldview in your introduction and at the conclusion.
Regarding the quiz, are you going to give us the new question or that question?
Sorry?
Regarding the quiz, are we going to answer the question that you uploaded already, or are you gonna give the new one?
I just download the revised version to that because a few of the questions we're covering next week's we haven't covered. So the main point of the quiz was to cover the 4 weeks. So I've taken the questions which topics we haven't covered. So I've put in more culture because I put in culture last week, and that's right. Well, yeah.
Okay.
So I've got that on cluster also, the new quiz.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. I mean, I didn't have to do this, but I know that I've done this for my students since I started here, because I've been there. If I don't have any direction, no got Marklo making me, then I'm wandering around. So these are just guideposts, law guiding you, blah. Marking broad logo. Yeah. So at least there's something for you to focus on. So on that note, you play stand past them and have a 5 minutes break. Or you play thing on them. So I've passed. We just carry on. Have a break. Have a 5 minutes break. Go. And I'll set up here. We'll be looking at land. We'll make a start. We'll make a start on the worldview and the land. Okay. So you plan to go Malalo past them. We come back and do that for half an hour. We'll finish the rest on Friday. but I thought it was important to go through the tasks and all those things we've covered and the major assignments. So you've got that out. So now you can start working on it. Okay. Yeah. So you play Malalo Pastor. 5 minutes, I mean up.
Right now I just emailed.
Sorry.
Right now I just emailed what are the name list of those who I thought was given. The email that I sent it right now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. You play Malalo Pastor.
No, I don't think.
Okay. Can you miss that? People are right. But, but you missed that, yeah. We'll try and finish the rest on Friday. So you will lulu on ground now, yeah. Ground blow light, na ground blow bite, na ground blow amamas. Okay. Okay. So just introducing that. Again, you become back the worldview, yeah. And also matagalas where we see things through. Worldview and also we look through our worldview matagalas and we understand and interpret things around us. Revisiting that again, worldviews influence perspectives on life, culture, and environment. So we're looking at understanding how worldviews in Melanesia shape relationships with the land. So you may look in Melanesian societies, land is more than just a physical being, space, or an economic resource. Land means place as well. Make him something you grow him toya, seen as a money making thing. No, there's respect that goes with that. It is deeply connected to people's worldview, social life, religion, and culture. So you can see those three things. So land symbolizes a strong link between Melanesia, the ancestors, communities, and spiritual being beliefs. So we'll explore how worldview and land are related in our context, Melanesian context. And I'll be using a lot of Tola examples in this because that's culture I'm very familiar with. So traditional ideologies of land, and in Melanesian culture, land is not just something to buy or sell. It is a vital part of life. No got ground, no got name. You got ground, you got name. So it's closely linked to ancestors and the identity of the community. Land is sacred, believed to be a gift from the ancestors and from God also, but we're just looking at the traditional aspect of that. Our spirits and must be cared for future generations. We look after the land because we pass it on to the next generations. And those of us who are sitting on our clan land today, me no come up now, that's so lame, come up. And then they'll say, hey, but ground your land, sit down and blow me blah. You'll get stories like that. It belongs to the whole clan or community, not blow one man. So the definition of land in Melanesian worldview is land is more than soil or a territory. It includes forests, rivers, mountains, and skies, and is seen as a living being with spiritual, cultural, and social meanings. Land connects people to their ancestors and the spirit world, making it sacred. You know, not separating this spirit world, not life. And that's our belief system, those deeply rooted belief system where worldview covers this. So when a Tolai says, this comes out from former principal's work, William Longer. He did his thesis on land. And because he grew up and speaks the Tolai dialect, that means my village and my land. Or the Fijian says, Bagubanoa, it means both the land and the village. Home, and it's probably something I'll share with you guys on Friday. I probably have to go home because my brother is dying. And so I've had a lot of conversation with them this week. So when it's a brother that's home calling you, you have to come home. They had a meeting, we have to call people. Mama lost drilling by Harim too. So I said, I'm on standby, I'll come. So it's that, whether it's a dying relative or whether you're going on holidays or whether my own boo-boos here telling me, Papa, we have to go home. Even my daughters said, how are we going home this year? Because once they've been, they feel connected to the land. Yeah, there's a sense of identifying with everything the land stands for, and responsibility to behave in manners befitting of the place. You behave differently. If I don't know the culture, that I sit and wait. No, let me play Okambosim, but hey, me no can work because me respect him. You see how culture is respectful and other culture is joyful. You just become part of that. No, you come. I said, I am, you know that. But if your culture tells you, you stay and just watch. So there's different So while social organization, this is social organization term again that we use in sociology and looks uh, looks at different people, how you live together, function together. So social organization, while social organization varies different across Melanesia, one kind something and bonim me and when we look we've got those three triad of ancestors, land, and tambo, that's our money, which together forms the core of the Tolai worldview, the cosmos. Everything is in there. And the Tolai triad comprising ancestors, land, and tambo, money, forms the foundation of the Tolai worldview. You might have something, as I shared, you might have something in your own culture that might have that. Let me flowers, and that's almost like our, as a researcher, I would say that's my epistemology. That's the knowledge, the knowing where I've come from. Each element is deeply interconnected, shaping how the Tolai understand their place in the world and their relationships with one another, and their connection to the spiritual realm. So this is how the elements of that connects with this, and the Tolai identity with the land. Okay. And you probably know me, Tolai is a bite on ground because ground I'm sort. Because ground ya it must come lo clan, lo bunatarai, come lo mama. Jupla sampla come lo papa. Sampla both mama and papa. So that's the Tolai identity that sits in there. My land, kaigukunan, kogukul. So in Tolai culture, the term Tolai triad can also refer to three foundational elements of their worldview. When we look at the concept of culture last week, what were the three foundational element of culture? We look at what? Artifacts, belief. What's the other one that comes up? I put that out in your quiz too, because we covered that last week. So for us, it's these ancestors, land and tambo. These are central to the Tolai people's spiritual, social, and economic life. Because tambo, it's been there forever. And it's still today. I was talking to my brother when they started ringing about my other brother. I said to my younger brother, get my daughter's shell money. This is my first daughter here. People are walking bride price now, I only buy him shell money too low. Man blame me, we went home. That's culture. We had the wedding in London. We came through Brisbane, went home now. We walk in now. Present blame shell money. So she's got this ring of shell money at home. So me talking Lilik Barata, you anything happened to big brother, you kisim Islam roll shell money blow. Picking in a losing blow. House blow you. Because uncle, big brother, was like a banker. He keeps it. So when we make it in that big round, you guys have seen, big round, we call it aloloy. That's like a bank notes that's secured. No one can touch it. So for my daughters, she can cut hers. When I die, she can cut hers. So I'm using a lot of my Tolai examples in this. So ancestors hold a sacred place in Tolai society where they are revered, respected, and considered to be actively involved in the lives of their descendants. And those ancestors are respected through the names we name our children through. Oh, Lapun Blomibla, they must up. because it's how they are markers in our clan. If you lose those names and use white people's names, you lose that sense of identity and belonging to those clans. So even for my boo-boos, I've named them names from given them names of my brothers and my aunties from home. Tolai people believe that the spirits of the ancestors can provide guidance, protection, and blessings. And as we were saying in the first week, what was something you like in Black culture? On Blime talk, or something like loose law, start law fading, and law protection, law mibla. Or spirit, something, yeah, mangi talking about sorcery. Because I'm too spirit, yeah. I'm the only talk. Mibla got this like, because I'm protecting mibla. Ancestral spirits are often invoked during important ceremonies, especially Lol Danis, when they go, if they go away and spend the night away and they come back only bilas or something. Those are questions for us Christians to say, how far can we go to participate in stuff? I know I've been asked questions around that. Bell blow you by marking this law. Suppose you feel spirit blow you know one bell one time, you don't have to do it. I don't have to do it. This is where Christ came to transform stuff for us. So we leave that for another conversation, I guess. So ancestral spirits are often invoked in during important ceremonies, including land-related matters and decisions involving the communities. And that's true. The ancestors maintain a deep spiritual connection to the land and the living people. Land is of great spiritual and social importance for the Tolai, as seen as a gift from the ancestors and a vital part of their identity, not just as a source of survival, but also the space where they lived and where they continue to dwell. There's a sense of respect, but Lotu stop. Lotu em come up. You mean that's our space for us as Christians. Or something stop. It's the knowing of that, but acknowledging that. Now me, Sanablo, believe law, what God has done, it's different. That's where the Spirit guides you, that you don't get involved with that. That's the difference. But out of respect of culture, there are certain things that's not related to any spiritual connections in terms of you by scaling. I've done that. I said, no, I don't have to be that because I don't feel good about that. Land ownership is often communal, and disputes over land are settled with the understanding that the land has sacred connections. Losing land is seen as losing a connection to one's heritage. Suppose you look sim ground, I'm talking, you know got name. Suppose you salim ground, or like no, savalo this la conflict come up. So we see land as it's a living thing, and I was saying, I think last year's group, you miss walk about that on ground and something you walk about them dead. No, it's a living thing. How can it be dead when things grow out of it? It speaks life, and a lot of indigenous people have a lot of respect for the land. Even here, they've actually, the university I went to, they have actually made a course on respecting country, respecting Tolai lands, respecting Hela land, respecting Yalibu's land. What can the land teach us? We don't see it as a reciprocal in that way. We don't see it. I think we have to start respecting that the land gives to us and we give back to the land. But the indigenous people here have taught me so much in terms of that reverence and that respect. Logramblo, the Maoris, the First Nations of Canada. We are so blessed that we weren't colonized in the sense that no one populated our ground. But these people, they didn't have any choice. They didn't have a voice. People came and invaded their countries and settled in it. So you see a lot of the First Nations of these countries, they're fighting to be recognized. They want to take back their land. But we're lucky. We've still got our own little places. So tambo refers to the traditional shell money used by Tolai, but it also holds a significant cultural and symbolic value. Okay, it's used in various social transactions, like bride price, like compensation, ritual payments. Beyond its economic use, tambo plays a vital role in maintaining social relationships and obligations within the community. It is also often involved in exchanges that recognize ties to the ancestors, especially to the land. It reinforces cultural values, social hierarchies, in terms of class systems, and the maintenance of peace. And I use shell money in my thesis as a metaphor for my methodology, which is Varvata then again in Toples. It's a place of knowledge where knowledge is expounded in terms of teaching, in enabling, in reinforcing behaviors, rebuking. Yeah. So tambu, I used it as a metaphor in one of my models. The Tolai triad of ancestors, land, and tambu highlights deep interconnectedness. Not only connectedness, but interconnectedness between households and spiritual, social, and economic life. And tambu acts as both currency and a symbol of social cohesion. Good blessing down, where everyone works together in tradition. So this is what I was saying before. As I was talking, you might have been thinking through your own, do I have that? Probably you haven't thought about it, but probably it's a time for you to think, have I got something like that? I think every tribe would have something. We have the land, the ancestors, and the tambo. How does your tribe compare to the Tolais? You could have a square, it doesn't have to be a triangle. You could have a circular one. In what ways does your tribal worldview of the land and ancestors and traditional wealth align with or different from Christian teaching about creation, stewardship, and community? There's a lot in that. And you would see a lot of, from a biblical point of view perspective, to a traditional perspective in terms of our own way of, there is a lot of overlap in, but we played safe when we say, because a lot of our ancestors and stuff involves a lot of spiritual connection in that sense, where we almost see that we can't go there as Christians, you meet an belly, you must call them, but you're still a cultured person. Christ has redeemed you, has made you to be who you are. You can still reach out and share that liberating power that God has done in your life. To say, I used to believe that, but be looking now and more said, you share your story with others. I know I joined a dance at home and I said, no, you guys can go and spend the night in the mirror. I'm just here to enjoy, to have fun, be part of the culture. But I have, with anything associated with spirits, or go sleep low, walking more, be last low night, low some blood. Me no got. So you make those choices, because spirit, I believe spirit la Papa God by helping you, not helping me to discern what we need to do and where we need to be in terms of our own cultures, because our culture is good, but some part of our culture is not good. How do you personally integrate your faith with your tribe's beliefs? And this is where you think, you said where contextualization comes in, or this is where the big question of how do I tap into the deep, deep part of this iceberg culture beliefs that's deeply rooted in there? How do you start? Like someone was saying, how this culture law, imply no kakai law, Mary Kukim kakai na kat period blame. Those are deeply rooted belief system inside. You look in this talk, this inside law root Londivaya. How do you start tapping those out? This is where you've got to talk with elders, talk law laughing. They say, I believe I'm root and come up to law name. You start to understand the context of why the practice is being practiced today. Can both systems coexist? Meaning, can they, or can they start like now walk one time? Or will there be tensions? And this is the biggest question for Christians, that we are in the world, but we're not part of it. But we're in the world, but we're still part of that culture. So you can go too far that way, too far the other way, and not have to do anything with it. Or you scale in. And a lot of questions, like we were looking at worldview, it asks big questions. Who am I? Who am I within culture? Who am I within the context of the kingdom culture? Who am I in my own learning space? A big asking. If la right, ground here, I'm story lo you me. You know, sometimes you look him ground him hard straight. Only put him cold towel on top long ground, but ground him light yet underneath. It probably, for me, it helps me to take a different perspective of ground here. Ground him, no ground him, ground nothing. Ground him got life and got voice and got neck. And we are mandated, we are commanded to be good stewardship of that. And no got neck lot talk, you mean got neck lot talk. So I've just taken you to Rabaul and showing you big story of Nibla, how we see the land. It's a big part of us. Now, like my big brother, I'm close to him, who I'm talk. Suppose me die, me like host. I'm planning me close to him, taking part time and Ibla Planine. Someone just rang me from Mosby this morning. I rang home this morning, so yes, we'll probably talk about that when it's that time when I'm actually gonna exit and go home for a week or so. But now you make us in Sabelo ground, and I'll stop on that and let you guys go. Gives us a sense of seeing the land differently. Be respectful and something grow you respectable ground closer. You come walking college law, CLTC and Saplong ground closer. Acknowledgement of that. So we still got a lot to cover in this, a lot of different stuff, and I'll conclude this with looking at ILG, which is modern day, kind of looking at the land in terms of group ownership. Thank you, Olga. You Mr. Oplode. Anyone's got one comment before we